Well, hello everyone. Um, I have definitely thought about that. It might be a little bit provocative to be in a room full of VR enthusiasts on a pretty amazing meetup, a pretty amazing event that I love and I usually visit because it's amazing. And the title is Virtual Reality Doomed to Fail Again. Is let's say not meant 100% concrete because through the panel we will discuss what means success for virtual reality. Also, we will discuss whether VR itself might not succeed, but VR will succeed in context of MR, because right now there's a big hype about augmented reality. And we know that, and I guess I don't have to explain it in detail because you're enthusiasts, that VR failed once again with Virtual Boy and all the other crap that was out there. And yeah, we have now good enough hardware, and we see a lot of cases. The question is mass adoption something that really needs to happen for VR to succeed or not? How do we see it? And for this panel, I got amazing guests that have a unique perspective. The first one is Dirk Pieper, who is a beratender Ingenieur and founder of CAE Forum. Let's welcome Dirk. And I would like Dirk to quickly introduce himself and also answer a very important question. That is, what disappoints you about the recent VR the most?
Then I will first hi. Then I will answer first the question. It's disappointing that it's not used that much in the industry. Of course, yeah. As said, my name is Dirk Pieper. I'm initiator of the CAE Forum. It's a network I handle since 10 years now in the industry content in the engineering phase, not normally out of the direction of numerical simulation. So close. Of course, we have the same data and stuff like this. And since now 6 years, in April in the 7th year, we have the CAE Forum, where we present the topics numerical simulation. I called it 3D visualization. That's a former virtual cinema 3D. It was initiated from ICI before, and I picked up this stuff. So we have there also the AR and the VR content. With some nice people which are and companies which are coming there up. We have there also a stage where we present this stuff, and also the topic 3D printing. So a mixture of all technologies, and that's quite a fun, of course, to see what happens in the different things, and all of them are saying that they are the next new good shit and stuff like this. So that's so I see the parallels in the different technologies, and that's quite fun.
Thank you very much. Oh, we have actually two mics, so the second guest can take the second. The second guest is Philip Wogart, the co-founder of Headgear, and also the chapter president of the VR AR Association Hamburg. And he's representing here, compared to Dirk, more the global XR movement, right?
Good afternoon.
So what did you disappoint most about the recent wave of VR? And yeah, explain maybe quickly the VR AR Association thingy.
Okay, my name is Philip Wogart. I come from Hamburg, like Lars, like a companion there. We at the VR AR Association have been going now for about 4 years. It's a global organization of 50 chapters in cities from Vancouver, San Francisco, LA, Sydney, Shenzhen, Singapore, New Delhi, all these kind of places. And I started the chapter in Hamburg over a year ago now. And I also run my own startup as well, but the point of the VR AR Association is to, grow the connections in the industry to make sure the technology succeeds, and make sure that the companies that want to do VR know the people that are doing VR. We have over 20 different industry committees, whether that is in industry and AEC, or whether that is in healthcare, aviation, or storytelling. I'm also the co-chair of the Location-Based Entertainment Committee, which is very important, close to my heart, because the more people that experience VR, the more likely we will see a lot more of it, essentially. What disappointments? Actually, I've been on a little road trip. I was at Agility in Cologne, which was a great experience, and then visited some other studios in Düsseldorf, and had conversations with some studios. My most current biggest disappointment is actually the content creators. I'm sick of hearing them bitch about each other. We all are in this industry together, and we got to be, you know, less. I mean, I'm to blame for this. I look at a 360 video and see the stitch lines that are going on in the corner that it wasn't done properly. I gotta, you know, catch myself from like even doing this kind of, you know, you're not doing it well enough, that kind of stuff. We gotta come together as a community and say like we gotta do this correctly, even if you know the content isn't 90 frames per second. At least it's getting done and getting out there. And of course, we don't want to give a bad experience to new people trying VR. But I would like to hope that content creators stop blaming the hardware and stop and start just dealing with it and hopefully that will push it further.
Amazing. So we have now someone from more the B2B/industrial realm. We have now someone more from the global AR/VR movement. But let's introduce someone who is a very important local player in Hamburg. His name is Lars Eckernkemper, who is doing Leitung, Projekt Office, Next Reality Hamburg e.V. Welcome, Lars. So could you quickly introduce yourself and tell us what did disappoint you most?
Yeah, my name is Lars and I'm head of project office of Next Reality Hamburg. We are a small, at the moment, a small non-profit organization who is trying to support the local AR, VR, mixed reality industry to get together to help them educate in Hamburg the middle class companies, because they are the ones who will participate in VR, AR the most, in our opinion. We are trying to help them to spread the word more in Hamburg. We do it by meetups like HANNOVR or the Next Reality Contest. It's another big event at the end of the year. Yeah, that's in short what we do. And we recently opened the VR headquarters in Hamburg, where we will be on the 2nd of October, I guess. Oh, it's you, did you? Yeah. Yeah, it's like a large event. So.
What did you disappoint again the most?
I was disappointed the most by all the overhyping. Because overhyping never is good for a product in the end. You can never deliver. You can never deliver it, and we have the same problem at the moment with augmented reality. Yeah, that's what disappoints me the most.
Okay, so we have different perspectives now. What I would also ask the panelists before we go into a more fluid discussion is the question regards what would, from your perspective, make VR successful? Like we now said, what disappoints us a lot, and there is some success to VR, right? But what do you see is still missing? What do you anticipate and see as a milestone where you can, say to your grandchildren, and this was the moment where VR succeeded?
I think we've already seen that moment where VR succeeded. I mean, a little bit about my background. I did my master's degree 15 years ago in virtual environments, and we're doing it in caves and, $20,000 headsets, trying to do visualizations and spatial audio in a cave environment. So the fact that we've gotten to a stage where the technology, the hardware was able to come together, where a guy in a garage could strap 2 mobile displays to you with a bit of duct tape and use a bit of tracking technology from Nintendo Wii and a PlayStation Eye, that is success for me. That we're already at that stage, and now that I started my company 2 weeks after Zuckerberg bought Oculus, so I know, and now that every single player has some kind of a stake in it, every single big technology player has got a stake in this industry. And so I think that date is already passed.
And in terms of maybe key metrics, like mass adoption is something that would determine for you like the real success, not like just for the enthusiast? Yeah.
So I really think the successful day will be when it's coming really into the industry and we use it really at the KMOs. If you see at the smaller companies. So if you see it now, companies like Airbus, like Deutsche Bahn, like other companies, they have the money to invent stuff like this. And they have also the money to hire people like this. We have the topic,
the people which know this, and this is a good example for this, that the people really that which get knowing this, they are not in the industry now. In the industry, you can't meet them there because I see people coming to the meetups, and that's our former colleagues out of the automotive, out of the aviation topic, and they just come and stopping by at the meetup and saying, we heard about, we want to see something, and might be that we are interested. So, and these are the huge companies, and that it's really coming to the companies which are to the normal companies. That's all the time. It takes time that people really come into the workflow, and that they're really working since years in the companies and say, cool, this is really here. I need VR as a tool, and this is a point where I say, if we have the VR tool ready and I have the experts which I could use it, then we have a successful day out of my point in the industry. For gaming and stuff like this, okay, it might be already there.
Nice. Maybe switching more towards a broader perspective with Lars. I mean, you represent also the startups in Hamburg that are part of Next Reality. You have also not just to focus on the B2B, but also maybe on the gaming area. What would for you be, things that still need to happen to make VR succeed? But also, most importantly, where do you see it's going right now, right? And how do you respond maybe to the previous panelist?
In fact, I'm on the same page with you. When the industry is using it as a normal tool, then VR technology is really, really succeeded in the industry, in my opinion. The mass consumer market, it needs to have a lot of stuff till we get there. You can compare it with the development of the computer back then. The first computers were really expensive, just big companies used them. Afterwards, you could play games in arcades. Now we are starting to develop VR arcades, so you can get in touch with it and to play it. And after this, the hardware will at some point be cheaper, so you can use it at home. I guess it will take the same test.
We're already there.
Oh, it's not cheap enough for me.
Are you kidding me? $200 for a $200 for a headset. The new Quest at $400. I'm sorry that
it's pretty cheap, right?
I mean, and if you want to compare, you don't compare it to the PC. It's got to be the mobile phone. From a brick phone that was happening back, 20 years ago to what is in your hands today.
Let's do a survey. Who of you thinks that VR is too expensive right now and the price needs to drop? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hands. And who thinks that it's already a sweet point? If there is content, we would totally buy it. More and more consumers will buy it. Somehow also similar, like 8, 10 hands, maybe 11, 12. But maybe also...
I was talking about if you want to really game with it.
Yeah.
For me, of course, you can game with Oculus Go and Oculus Quest, but the experience isn't quite there where the normal consumer expects it to be. And that's what I meant.
Maybe there is also another trend that might really endanger VR, in a sense, at least when we look at the words. So something that I encounter a lot in my job is, news articles that say VR failed or companies putting way more money into augmented reality. And what do you think regards basically the fact that VR will be eaten up by augmented reality? Is VR still a thing in a few years, or will augmented reality substitute everything?
I'm not that much into the topic, and then I have all the time to ask, what is the definition? So, if you talk now about mixed and stuff like this, I really think that AR is a cool topic. Of course, 2015, I had Metaio at my booth at the HANNOVR fair, and 3 months later, I couldn't call them again. Of course, they disappeared to
Apple.
Big fruit stuff. So and the technology, what they showed there was really, really impressive, and that was quite cool. I think for what we have seen here, for scenarios in training, it's quite good, and we could use it. In the industry in the development phase, I have a bit of problem with VR because we can't really. It's not that good to be talkative with the glass on the headset. I talked once with what was the guy? He invented the cave system or the projection system at Rolls-Royce in Hamburg, and he said, "Yeah, but it's quite cool if I have my whole turbine. I could take 14, 15 people and we're standing around, have just the small glasses on and see what happens there, and we could discuss. So we could just discuss interdisciplinary, where the different, that there are people which are doing the cables, then the pipes, then the normal metal parts and stuff. And they really said we have the first time the possibility to chat about it and to see what happens and to interact and
To like negotiate between stakeholders.
Negotiate the disciplines and to see what happens. Then bring the the CFD simulation in it and see what happens then. That is a real success there. I don't see this in the moment with every device, every glass, whatever you pick on your own in your office.
Okay.
I really see we need there this other stuff. So.
And what do you think, Philip?
Something very similar to that is what JPL just experienced 7 months ago. They were doing a HoloLens experiment, 3 people around it, looking at a device that was going to Mars and said, oh, we can't reach that screw. No one can get in there and tighten that screw or get or like release that one piece. So the use of augmented reality as a visualization tool and a collaboration design tool, you know, it's already halfway there. I mean, especially that you don't need all the CAD data, that you can just like, you know, slim it down a little bit, and then you've got already someplace a collaborative work environment that actually is very useful. And I think VR has the same potential there as the guys at Ford. Val Fessels works with here in Germany with a designer in Buenos Aires for the Ford company and does that in VR now. I mean, he's probably the biggest critic of VR because he's been doing it for 25 years, and I'm not sure if he's really, you know, that keen on it anymore. But you know, he's still working at it, and I think that VR will not go away. I mean, of course, people believe that they're going to merge together, and it's not going to be any difference. The glasses will do both in the end, or something. But that is still, you know, miles away.
Okay, and what's your opinion, Lars?
I'm on the same page again in this topic because in the end we will use both for the next years. It's depending on the use case. What do I want to do? And then I'm going to choose the hardware for the special case. At the moment, we are better off with virtual reality because it's developed a little bit further, and the augmented reality glasses, yeah, they are not good right now for visual visualizations. Okay, but even there we do have problems with the field of view and the technology inside it. So it will take some time till that really happens.
Okay, so let me challenge you all and maybe share my initial beliefs that I had and somehow still have, but it changed a little bit more realistically from the beginning that I started in this whole XR environment, right? I mean, I didn't introduce myself in the beginning. Maybe it's kind of interesting to mention I do a podcast about virtual reality, Research VR, where we had like Unity, we had all kind of companies talking their perspective on virtual reality, how they incorporate it, how they use science, and they are very enthusiastic, right? But what I always thought about is that the success, and I want to see how you respond to it, the success of virtual reality as a medium is precisely in the sweet spot where there is a mass adoption, like with the iPhone, with a smartphone, where everyone knows how to use it, everyone has it in their pocket or on the desk, and then companies like there are a few people here from companies, there are a few people who want to work in this environment, right? Then they provide solutions to it. That's also the question I asked before about the training. How do you convince the customer actually to get the hardware? Because they usually have a smartphone when you develop an app for it. You usually have a PC, but they are not maybe used too much to XR. And I always thought that we need to have classrooms full of XR to educate people. We need to, increase the diversity of those devices, make sure it's easier to develop, make sure that everyone is used to them at home, and then we can actually, same with smartphone, go then to the managers and say, okay, now we actually need to upsell. Because then you have the whole ecosystem and this device is used for productive cases, right? And also for entertainment reasons. And so far, as much as I enjoy a lot of games in the XR, particularly in the VR world, they're amazing, but you still see like the entertainment part from my perspective is still growing. There still needs to a lot of happening there, right? A lot needs to happen. Like yesterday on the OC5, Zuckerberg said that there needs to be at least 10 million of devices in each ecosystem so it can sustain, right? And we are not there yet. However, we see here with the training case, with all the other things that we've been presented here, that it works. The corporates still buy it. And the question is my previous very naive approach to it wrong and VR is still succeeding, or is it on the verge of just becoming a corporate tool, and at some point people will just go back to their Nintendo Switch and just play with the iPhone, and VR will never actually conquer the home?
Well, from the consumer point of view, there was a lot of realistic talk at OC5, and I appreciated that. But what the news that came out 2 days before OC5 was that they just sold 17,000 Go's to Walmart for training purposes. So VR training is a very big thing, and it is one of the most successful ways of using VR at this moment, because the cost efficiencies there is quite clear. You can save money if you don't have to have classrooms full of people or ship people across the planet to learn something, and that whether that's as simple as managing Black Friday or figuring out how to put together a Siemens turbine or something. So I think they go hand in hand in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
The consumer and the business.
Okay, what do you think, Dirk? Or Lars, do you have a strong opinion?
For the consumer market, it will take some time because I think we have to re-educate the consumer market. The first touch point for them was using mobile phones and Google Cardboards and looking at a 360 video, and afterwards they say, I've experienced virtual reality, and 360 is not virtual reality, and it was fine, I won't invest in better gear. And now we have to re-educate and show them, no, what you have seen is not virtual reality, try this one out. Really experience something.
So the hype and oversellment in the beginning kind of created a fear from the consumer. They kind of, it's fine, I don't need it. So it's kind of, pushed them away, do you think? Or?
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Now I've also have an opinion. So as I said, I'm really not that into the gaming stuff, and really I'm also not that interested in the gaming stuff, I have to say. Apologizing. So sorry for that. But I see it, how could I use it in the industry? And with the cave systems in history, we tested all devices also at our automotive company. And we were testing and seeing, okay, where could we use it useful? Where is the benefit? And if this really comes into the companies, it really takes time. The people need to be there. The hardware, okay, is maybe nearly there or whatever, or will be there in the next 5 years, as you said. That's totally fine. And it takes time to bring a product in front. Yeah. So you said you have a startup. I'm also. So it takes time. We work now since 1 year. To have really a good product, you need 5 years, and to have the methods implemented in the company, you need even more time. Who is working in the aviation area knows that it could take even 20 years, 30 years. Yeah, I don't know if you know what is it, Mark Albert? He's working since years, and he had this huge displays in front of his face, and they were calling this also a virtual reality. Yeah? And this is just the start. And but if this comes really in the companies, it takes time. So and just this hype about virtual reality. Yeah, as I said, I'm in the digital factory there at the Hannover Fair, and they have every year a new topic. It's digitalization, digital twin, virtual reality, whatever. These are just names, and these are just tools which need to be implemented in the industry, and under which name it is really working. So yeah, you could use it for the time where it's really popular, and later on you have tools which you could need, and this needs, in my opinion, it needs time, and we talk again in 10 years. So.
Okay, so maybe then we should leave behind the whole doom talk, because it seems everything is not really doomed, everything is going on. The Gartner curve kicked in, we are in a slow slope, but we're going up again, things happening, headsets are released. Rather than the question to you, how would you motivate people to enter into the XR world right now? Because here we have an amazing crowd of enthusiasts, right? But maybe what would you describe to someone who you just met on the street or in a bar, and you say, yes, this whole XR, VR world, it's amazing, you know, you can do great things with it. What would you pitch to them? Because like a few years ago, you could say, you know, read Ready Player One, imagine what you can do with this technology. But now I think it's more about concrete things. Where would you, you know, go with it?
It's the job of everyone that is in this industry to talk about it and, you know, convince people to get that goggles on their heads. It's your damn well duty and job to do that. And for me, I even did it. I crashed at a friend's parents' house in Cologne after Digility, and talked art with the father, who's in his 70s, and then told him, have you tried VR? And then he said, no. Oh, then you should go to the Tate Modern and check out Modigliani's art studio. Or go to Paris and check out Giacometti's VR studio. Anything that, you know, triggers their personal imagination can be done in VR. And there'll be an experience somewhere in VR to do with that. If you're a film buff, you can go to the Venice Film Festival and check out all the, you know, 32, 42 entries that were done there. I think it's our duty to you know, be the ones that get as many people into this you know, technology as possible.
So to ignore all the negative news articles, VR is dead, VR is doomed, and so on, and just continue evangelizing as we've been doing it. And as we see with this meetup here, it's growing and growing and growing and becoming more professional and amazing. But I think you are arguing that we just need to, you know, strive a little bit longer, because we are so close to the point. We just need to get a few more people in, show a little bit more VR, and then finally.
No, it's not finally something. It's just something we still have to do. That's all. You know, we can't give up on the technology because, you know, it's been 5 years and I'm bored. I want to do blockchain now.
Yeah, gardening.
A couple of weeks ago, I went to my home city, a small town with many big middle-class companies. And I do know some people. They went to them, talked to them about virtual reality, and there I educated them and showed them some stuff which would work for them and their company. And afterwards they really liked it and knew what possibilities it had. But before there was no idea even, and they just heard some stuff from the news. So you always have to look who is your customer, who are you talking to, find the sweet spot, and then find the exact project to trigger him. And by this way, you can really re-educate him.
Yeah, so stay tough, stay at this technology, so go further with it. As I said, many different technologies are coming and are hyped, but still they are used. Yeah, and if I'm talking about 3D printing, it's the same. So they talked about it's immersive, whatever. It takes time, and take this time and be accurate at this and build good products, not the stuff which you don't need. Of course, if you show this only to the people in the industry once, and then they said, "Yeah, I've seen in Back in the Future, like Television. television. Yeah, I've seen it. Click. So and then it's done. Yeah. So I'm not sure if everyone knows Back to the Future. So sorry. Good, but so stay tough and just proceed.
So I think we are slowly coming to an end, right? And maybe to sum up and give you also the last famous words. From what I understood from you and what I have also an impression here is that every of us needs to wake up every morning and ask ourselves, who are we going to show VR today to? And what are we going to show them that they will like it? It's unfortunately, no one will do it for us, neither Oculus nor Magic Leap. They are doing hype stuff that is apparently not particularly very effective. So we need to, in my impression, continue and evangelize more people. Maybe, there is soon Christmas, just get a Oculus Go to your younger brother or sister, and maybe they will, or another device, I see.
We have to teach more youngsters about this technology because I've been teaching now a games design course that's specifically VR, AR related in Hamburg. And that's to the, Miami Ad School. These are to design students that don't know anything. So since then, I've already evangelized 2, and now they're both completely in the scene. So I think we need to, this technology has been given to us, but it's not going to be for us in the end. So, we need to, get as many interns excited about this into spatial computing and all that kind of stuff. Sorry. Go teach me.
Go.
And we have to even start earlier at stages. We have to start in for fifth graders, I guess. We have to start somewhere there to show them the possibilities in technology. In Germany, the education in this area, regardless of the virtual reality, is crap. Yeah. And that we do have to change. And that should be our goal too. To help, to get them while they're young.
My children
before they do blockchain.
My children are 6 and 9 years old, and they like VR. So
perfect. Then, thank you very much for staying and listening. I hope you didn't get disappointed. And
at the stage, I guess. Laura, can you come in? Is Joscha? There you are, and Gunnar. I think he's on his booth again. So we just want to say thank you guys for this. Thanks everybody for being really patient here for 3 hours. And I guess it's now time to get a coffee, get a beer, get pretzels, and get some VR headsets on. Yeah. So see you next time. I guess. I don't know, half a year or whatever, I don't know. Maybe here again, I think it's a nice occasion for the HANNOVR, I guess. So, thanks for being here, and we are around here all day, so let's talk and network and drink something together. So, thanks and bye-bye.